Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson. With us on this very hot and muggy Wednesday, August 17th. This is Sports Scene, live and local every Wednesday, noon to 1. Also, Sports Highlights, the TV program I host on nnpstv.com, where next month, the featured guest in September will be the head men's lacrosse coach at Hampton University as well. Tell your friends about 1650. This is your election headquarters 24/7. What's going on with Trump, Clinton, all the elections right here. Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, HR1LineMall.com, and WHKT AM 1650. Thank you to our military for what you do 24/7. Our guest lineup, featured guest, the mayor of the city of Hampton, Donnie Tuck, will join us in just a few moments. Sponsors on both Hampton Roads, OneLineMall.com and GJBTV.com. Our guest lineup presented by Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant with two great locations in Virginia Beach. Jennifer Duff from the Lynn Haven Fishing Pier will join us in the second half hour. Phone line presented by Newcastle. Sponsors in August, Fink's Car Care, Spaghetti Eddies, Long's Billiards, Newcastle, Crawl Space, and of course GJBTV.com. Topics going on right now. Olympics, of course, winding down. Phelps doing very well in swimming. The drama with Lochte being held up. Basketball team doing good. Gymnastics doing good. The medal count looks really good for the United States. Preseason football going on, so-so, not too much into games that don't count. Major League Baseball, the Nationals still rolling along. Cubs seem like they are on a collision course with the Nationals as well. Great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary, what tees me off. Joe Daniel, before we start, the weather has always been the big topic, and August continues to be very, very hot.
It's ridiculous. I can't even stand it. I can't stand how hot it is.
Here's what I say about this: three words: beach, air condition, and of course, anything to be indoors and the pool. All right, stay tuned with the mayor of Hampton coming up next, Donnie Tuck. This is Sports Scene, live on 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Hello to all the locals and tourists. Tell your friends, at Greg Bick on Twitter. Stay tuned.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 485-5555 today.
Hi, this is Greg Bicouvaris, inviting you to join me for Sports Scene live each Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650 and tunein.com by typing WHKT in the search box. Excellent guests and interaction at Greg Bick on Twitter, all powered by Hampton Roads OneLineMall.com. Sports Scene each Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650.
Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to GJBTV.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene on 1650 AM and tunein.com.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. It's an honor and a privilege to interview the mayor of Hampton, Donnie Tuck. I've known Donnie literally since I've been in college. When I went to George Mason, I interned at WCBS New York and then had a chance to, still do, work several Redskins games back in the late 80s, especially 87 and 88, during that range, 89 and so forth. The PR director for the Redskins back then was none other than Donnie Tuck. Donnie, good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Greg. I was just thinking, it's probably been about 20 years since we shared the same microphone or same set.
Yes, we did TV and Newport News as well, but we've kept in touch inadvertently over the years. I've seen you in different public places, and congratulations, first of all, on being mayor of Hampton.
Thank you very much.
The road to becoming the mayor of Hampton was not always easy, and you are a first-class lesson in perseverance. Talk about it.
Well, Greg, as I think about good hitters, they don't keep track of their strikeouts, mostly their hits. But actually, I tried unsuccessfully 2 times for Hampton City Council. Was unsuccessful at least 1 time in running for mayor of City of Hampton. And prior to that, there were other opportunities or attempts at running for public office. But I've been blessed. I've been blessed to finally attain the position that I aspired to.
What's nice about Hampton is they've got their little circles, whether it's Buck Row or Phoebus or the Woodland Road area or Ivy Farms. Every sense of the community is really established in Hampton. I kind of thought about it yesterday when I was about to interview you today. Hampton is the gateway to the peninsula. The people from the south side, the first city they see is Hampton. You're more closer to Norfolk than some peninsula cities.
Very much so. And we like our position in Hampton. I think it's just a wonderful city. About 406 years old, lots of tradition. And in fact, we've got major activities coming up this weekend with the celebration of the first African arrival that will actually kick off a 3-year celebration by the state and the city.
Very good. Talking to Donnie Tuck, the mayor of Hampton. Craig Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on Sports Scene 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your search box. And you talk about how Hampton's evolved. It really has evolved, and you see how different cities have evolved. And what are the biggest highlights for you right now, the biggest concerns in your first 100 days?
Well, I think right now, Greg, there's a sense of unease about safety in our city. And it's not a secret. I think that most urban communities are having that kind of challenge. So I think the real challenge there is to try and help citizens have a sense of comfort. And I think we're working toward that. We had some staffing issues, but we're trying to get those addressed. The other concern is right now our schools. There's a perception that we don't have great schools, but we do have great schools. We're just trying to work to get them all accredited. And again, I think that's something that a number of urban localities are struggling with.
Even though I lived in Newport News, my mom did too. My mom, taught in Hampton at Jeff Davis and Bethel, and she got her awards while she was teaching at Jeff Davis and Bethel. So I know the schools there have had a great foundation in academics, athletics, and activities.
Well, we do, and we've got actually, we have a number of graduates who go on to Ivy League schools and other major colleges. We've got a new superintendent who's beginning his 2nd year. He has a reputation of being a turnaround superintendent at other localities or other school districts that he served in. And we have actually a new program that he's going to put in place this year. It's a Forward Next Generation Learning program, and we're one of the few districts in the country that's going to have that. So again, I think we're going to do lots of great things with our schools.
Did you have any experience at all on the school board at all?
No experience with the school board. We're trying to actually establish more regular joint meetings with the school board and the city council.
Right, talking to Donnie Tuck, the mayor of Hampton. Craig Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on this very hot, muggy August 17th. But it's hot and muggy, but people can enjoy Buck Row Beach as well, and the nice fishing pier.
We've got a great beach, and the fishing pier, I'm trying to think how old it is, but we just recently dedicated it in the name of a former Parks and Recreation Director, Jim Wilson. But Buck Row Beach, my wife and I were down there this past Sunday evening for an event, and it's just a wonderful place to be.
It really is. And, of course, a great place to walk as well and enjoy the water, talking to Donnie Tuck as well. When you talk about some of the things in Hampton, we talked about, you see the flooding in Louisiana. There's always something going on when you're watching CNN or Fox News Channel. We're in a very kind of different type of election where you don't have a traditional candidate on one side running against an established candidate name on the other side. They're both big names. But have you ever in your lifetime seen any election? This is going to be a very interesting next 3 months.
Very much so, Greg. But right now, I'm not as focused on the national elections as I am on trying to do the best job I can for the city of Hampton. I think We just came through a May 3rd election. We had 3 incumbents return plus a new face. And with me as mayor, we've got our challenge there. So we're really focused on the challenges at Hampton more so than what happens nationally.
And Donnie's a little humble. Not only did he work for the Redskins, he's also done radio as well. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. You and the police chief had a chance to walk and tour during some of the protests earlier on that were peaceful for the most part. And of course, just to show that the community support for the police. But as you know, a lot of times too, I don't think the police and anywhere in the world are out to get anybody, but their safety, when they say show me your hands, they really mean show me your hands. And I'll say this, not in Virginia, but how about a stun gun as opposed to a real gun? And I think that has been the big issue, is shoot to kill as opposed to stop or pause.
Well, let's go back to the first part of that.
Sure.
Your comment there. I was out with our police chief doing one of the marches by a local Black Lives Matter group, and we watched. It was, I think our police department was very proactive in reaching out to the group to try and establish where they would march, how long they would march, and to actually shut off the street so they could have a peaceful march. We got a lot of pushback from some citizens that why were you closing the street and what happened if an emergency vehicle needed to get by. We had accommodations for that. But I think the more important part of it is that by reaching out first and trying to work with them, we were able to prevent perhaps what could have been maybe a negative encounter. And I think that's extremely positive for our police chief and our police department. Does a great job of community outreach. We're really focused on community-oriented policing and problem solving.
Yeah, because that's half the battle in life, is showing your face. It's the before and after. When you run for election, there's no app to run for election. You have to go out there and open doors. You have to shake hands. And a lot of kids under 40, let's just use that, are so used to doing their mobile technology, they sometimes forget the face-to-face, which we are doing right now.
True, Greg. And one of the things that our police chief says and many of our officers say is that it's hard to hate someone that you trust. And so by getting out, being proactive, trying to get around the community, introduce themselves, we're doing things with coffee with a cop. We're having basketball games. In fact, I saw one over the weekend where they had a team by police officers involved in kind of a tournament. So those kinds of things help build those connections with the community.
Donnie, did you ever work closely with the other cities as well, the other mayors? You talked to McKinley Price or Newport News, because you're so closely related. The cities are right bordering each other. Not just Newport News, but York County, Poquoson, and even the South Side.
Well, actually, Greg, probably about 3 weeks ago, I was participating in our first meeting with the local mayors and county board supervisor chair. So we have an ongoing relationship there. So I'm still the one that's new, and we're building that relationship.
You're new, but you're not new to city council, because Donnie's had a lot of experience, folks. Talking to Donnie Tuck, the mayor of Hampton, also played tennis a little bit too, folks. So he's pretty much done it all. All right, let's talk about the Peninsula Town Center. A lot of people in Hampton and Newport News both grew up going to Coliseum Mall. They liked Coliseum Mall the way it was. And some people, look at Virginia Beach, Lynn Haven Mall, Pembroke Mall, still love the traditional malls. The town centers around the country have not always worked out. The ones in Newport News, a few stores do well. Good example, we'll talk about Newport News. Toby Keith's did not make it. That's about as big as a name as you can get. What's anchored Newport News is the movie theater and the hotel there. What about the Peninsula Town Center in Hampton? I do see recently where they're not charging to park on the side streets. What are your concerns about that place?
Well, I think the primary concern would be the fact we lost a major anchor in Macy's. But beyond that, I've had regular conversations and email exchanges with the owner, Mr. Tabani, in Dallas, Texas. And he has great plans, great vision for the Peninsula Town Center. So I think for us, it's just to be a ready partner to try and be aggressive in trying to, whatever his ideas are, to be aggressive in our support of what he wants to do at the shopping center. He has a number of ideas. He and I've sat down and talked one-on-one about some of those ideas and plans. I've shared them with the city manager, with our economic development director, and we think they've got a very bright future.
You mentioned the city manager and the police chief, and of course the different business leaders. How much important it is for you to be on the same page with your city council members. You're not going to always agree on everything. You can agree to disagree, as well as the police chief, the city manager, that all of you come together and have meetings as well.
Well, we do that on a regular basis, but I think what you said is critical, that we have to be on the same page. But I think we also have to recognize that each of us comes from a different perspective. Backgrounds and life experiences shape how you view things and what lens you look at it. So in the past, I think perhaps my view has been maybe different from other members of the council, but we've had our team building efforts. We're on the same page, and I think it's full speed ahead for the city of Hampton.
My dad, of course, grew up in Newport News, but he always frequented Hampton a lot and would mention Buckrow and Grandview. His father liked Grandview. That, of course, is another part of Hampton as well, that the community is feeling safe in each other's neighborhood, no matter what city around the country, to keep your doors locked, but also to be vigilant no matter where you go, because we're living in a different world today. The airports are different. Everybody's a little bit different. I remember my grandmother would always say 2 eyes in front, 2 eyes in the back, and it's almost true today as well.
I agree, Greg. It is different. But I think in some instances, people can do more with respect to trying to reduce certain instances of crime, like even larcenies. A lot of larcenies occur from people not locking their vehicles, a lot of car thefts because people leave their keys in their cars. Maybe they go inside leave the motor running. So little things like that. We just be more vigilant. We've got a great neighborhood watch program throughout the city, and we're getting more and more neighborhoods that are participating in that. So I think we're going to see probably in the next few months a real reduction in the crime in the city.
We're talking to Donnie Tuck, the mayor of Hampton, live on 1650 AM at 1223. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT to listen to your phone or your computer with Joe Daniel. This is Greg Bicouvaris. Don't forget GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. You see in the paper, not just in Hampton, but several Ruby Tuesdays are closing. But I'll say a success story very close to them is the Tokyo Grill and Buffet. You were part of the grand opening there in Hampton, one of the biggest Asian buffets in the state of Virginia. They loved having you there as well. And that's a success story that a local mom and pop can still succeed. And we're talking about a lot of square foot right there, maybe one of the biggest next to the Coliseum in the area, that restaurants, businesses, it's important that the locals support them as well as the tourists.
Well, yes, Greg, I was at the ribbon cutting for the Tokyo Grill. I was also at another ribbon cutting just about a week and a half ago. So we're actually getting a lot of new restaurants in our city as well as new businesses. So I think it's a positive sign that people are willing to invest in our city.
True, because you see the national chains are closing. I mean, Ruby Tuesdays has been around for a long, long time, that people do like local cuisine as well. We're talking to Donnie Tuck as well, the mayor of the city of Hampton. Donnie, what do you like to do, I guess, off the grid, you and your wife, as far as to enjoy yourself and unwind? I know you're a man of faith as well.
Well, I appreciate your saying that, Greg. I do teach a class at my church. Beyond that, it's just, I don't know. I've kind of gotten into Sudokus or Sudokus.
Well, talk about it. What is it?
Well, for me, it's kind of a mind relaxed thing, but it also helps looking at details. In fact, the other evening we had a council meeting, and I looked at some numbers that didn't appear right. So I asked them to go back and look at one of the slides, and found out that there was a number that was out of order on our document. So it's just those little things there that keep your mind sharp, but it also just helps me relax. It's something I just kind of picked up.
Do you do more of that, or you rely on your phone or your computer like everybody else does these days?
I do both, Greg. Actually, I used to play in a jazz band at my church, and I don't touch my guitars now. So it's, I wish I could do that. I've got a piano that sits in a corner, doesn't get played. It's just, I really need to take more time for myself. But it's difficult because I'm out trying to meet citizens and residents and going to meetings, just trying to find out what the concerns and issues are.
Now, this is, we talked about this a little bit about your career too. And Donnie's, ran at Newport News and Hampton both. And he's a competitor. He's a fighter. And I think, folks, a lot of that you can get just watching the Olympics. It's a one-on-one in swimming and gymnastics. Donnie's played tennis. We play tennis against each other as well. It's a one-on-one competition. But there's no competition, in my opinion, like running for elected office. You're putting your mind, body, and soul out there against your opponent. Sometimes you get a walkover and run unopposed. You've been there and done that as well. But most of the time it's one-on-one, one-on-four. Talk about the competition for those 3 or 4 months.
Oh my, it's really intense. And to use a tennis analogy, I think it takes strategy. It's trying to remember what your strengths are and trying to exploit what you view perhaps as your opponent's weaknesses or vulnerable areas. And so I enjoy it. I enjoy the the retail aspect of it, of getting out and meeting people and just introducing yourself. But it also, there are times, Greg, times I haven't been successful. It really can set you back emotionally because it comes almost across as a rejection of you. And to be rejected by someone that you really feel knows very little about you, that's kind of a challenge to overcome. But I've been successful the last few years, so I'm pleased.
And you're a good example too. And also Marcellus B2 Harris, who's now in the Newport News City Council, he ran against my good friend, very dear friend Sharon Scott, did not beat her, but then he ran again against the vice mayor. He did win. So sometimes when you get knocked down, you need to get back up, and that's a story for life for young and old both.
It's a great life lesson, Greg. I ran unsuccessfully 2 times for city council, and actually the third time I wasn't going to run, but I was asked by individuals to run, and so I did, and I was successful that time. 2 years later, I ran for mayor. I was asked by individuals, was not successful. So those things happen sometimes, Greg. You put yourself out there, and you hope that there are people out there who believe in you and believe in your message.
Anything beyond Hampton, Donnie, for elected office, or you're just happy being on the city level?
I'm happy. I want to do what I can to make Hampton a great city. I think we've got great individuals. I think we have great potential. A lot of people have invested there. We've got a great tradition, great history. I think it's a great city, and that's where I want to be.
One of our sponsors right here is CP Shuckers. Locals tradition is CP Shuckers, locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, and much more. They showcase the Olympics, NASCAR, Major League Baseball, of course, football, the preseason football you want, soccer, tennis, golf. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Great appetizers, burgers, pasta, seafood. Go by and see Chef Leon and Matt and Mark at both locations in Virginia Beach. And of course, we're going to continue with Donnie during the entire hour here. We're going to have some segments as well, and Donnie will interact with us as well too. And you talk about looking at the entire broad scope of Hampton, whether it's the management, the schools. We'll get more into that in the second half hour. The school board, the police, any department in Hampton. I guess, Donnie, communications, how the communications people portray Hamptons also. It's almost like a restaurant. When you first walk in, you'll see the hostess. Everybody's almost like a host for the city of Hampton. And like I said earlier during the interview, that when you come across Norfolk, Hampton's right there.
It's right there, Greg. And actually, we are undergoing a branding study where we've got an outside contractor sitting down with city officials. He's sitting down with residents and businesses to try and find out the things that they see that are extremely positive about Hampton, and even things they view as being less than positive. And the idea is that after sitting down and having this kind of one-on-one, and actually there are also some group interactions, is to come back and try and present maybe 4 or 5 ideas that we think the citizens will really think are what defines Hampton, and go forward with those. Perseverance
and success is Donnie Tuck, the current mayor of Hampton, doing well right here in the studio up until 1 o'clock on Sports Scene. Stay tuned right now. We'll have a news break. We'll come back and talk a lot more with Donnie Tuck and a lot more in Sports Scene right here on 1650.
Of American swimmers be seized. This as authorities investigate their claim that they were robbed at gunpoint during the Rio Olympic Games. A senior international Olympic official has been taken to a hospital in Rio after police came to his hotel to arrest him as part of an investigation of ticket scalping. Floodwaters have receded in Louisiana's Livingston Parish, leaving behind an atmosphere of determination to recover, mixed with disbelief and uncertainty. Officials estimate 75% of the homes were a total loss in Livingston Parish. A former Louisiana prosecutor sentenced to 3 years in prison for obstructing justice. Prosecutors accuse him of soliciting sex from women in exchange for favorable treatment. This is SRN News.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-423-4557. That's 1-800-423-4557. 1-800-423-4557. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Cisco Systems laying off 14,000 workers, and casino mogul Steve Wynn set to open his newest resort in Macau.
If you're in the mood for a taste treat that's sweet and rich, here's a value lunch special right up your alley. A $15 gift certificate for the Royal Chocolate Company in the Virginia Beach Town Center, half off for $7.50. Indulge yourself with gourmet chocolates, chocolate-covered strawberries, truffles, so much more. Call 488-1010 and get your $15 gift certificate for Royal Chocolates, half price, just $7.50. It's on the value line. Call 488-1010. Your taste buds will thank you.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email the show, bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studios. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
And folks, next week we'll be giving away a Fazoli's gift card, one of Joe Daniels' favorite restaurants in Hampton Roads. Fazoli's, of course, one of their gift cards from that great restaurant as well. Highlights, of course, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. My background's on there as well. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Locals and tourists, bookmark this, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. That's HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Over 80 businesses to browse, shop, and visit. Coupons, marketplace, retail, services, restaurants, all on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Save the date for Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. And, of course, the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, which we hope to see Donnie Tuck at as my guest, October 20th through the 22nd, right there on J. Clyde Morris Boulevard. For more, log on to NewportNewsGreekFestival.org, a fall edition and indoor event. Weather is not an issue. Donnie, talk about some of the highlights, too, that's going on in Hampton. There's something that's always evolving. That's the key. Evolving, whether it's business or pleasure. We talked about as well working with all the departments, but I think that's the key for any city in the 21st century is to evolve.
Yes, Greg, and I think Hampton right now is really starting to take off. We have new hotels are being built. Of course, you're familiar with the Boo Williams Sportsplex, which draws athletes in competition from all over the country. We've got a great university in Hampton University, and it's really doing a lot of great things. So I think it's a city that's really on the move.
What about the Hampton Coliseum, Donnie? That's been around since I've been a kid. I graduated from high school there. Several local schools, not just in Hampton, have graduated there. The building is kind of old. They've lost their director, Joe Tsao, I believe his name was. And how is the future of that building?
Well, it's been a very, very positive cash flow for us. It's fully owned, and it makes a profit for us. There are challenges as far as programming because of its size. It can't be expanded. And, of course, you have new facilities all around us, but still it's an icon, and we still get a lot of shows there. And there's some things that are just going to happen there that can't happen anyplace else because it's locale and the reputation that's established.
But the circus has been there. They've done a great job, of course. They've had bull shows. They've had, monster trucks. They've had graduations. Back in the day, they had the Squires play there. So that's been a lot of time, talent, and treasure there. Let's look beyond Hampton Roads. We mentioned Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com, which is a place where locals and tourists go to browse, shop, and visit. But the tolls in this area, and of course you go to Northern Virginia, it's another story because their traffic makes Virginia Beach look like there's nobody there. Northern Virginia during the summer is a nightmare. The tolls, though, in Portsmouth and Norfolk have not worked out that well, meaning there have been double charges, and I have no problem with a toll, but get it right from the get-go. Don't go back to the customer and say you were through the red light camera or whatever if you were not there.
Well, Greg, I really can't address the tolls that much as far as what's happening in Norfolk and Portsmouth. I will tell you that as mayor, I'm now a member of the different boards, the Transportation Planning Organization, as well as the Transportation Accountability Commission. And those groups are charged with trying to look out at the landscape and determine where the new roads should go so we can try and help improve the traffic situation around our region. And there possibly will be some tolling on some of the improved roads. So it's something that, whereas we may have gotten kind of accustomed to being able to travel freely, that we may wind up having tolls on some of the roads.
And I think even from York County to Gloucester, a lot of people from the peninsula do not go to Gloucester because of the toll, and that's a fact. I think it's been there too long. I think the tolls in Norfolk and Portsmouth have not been accurate. That's my biggest problem with them. Baltimore's had them for years, like that Easy Pass and so forth. So to me, there's more cons than pros once you pay off the initial debt.
Again, Greg, I really can't offer an opinion on that. I have 2 Easy Passes. Actually, in 2013 and 2015, I commuted from Hampton to Midlothian to work every day for about 6 months, and I drove on some toll roads. So the option was to go on some of those. Well, actually, in some instances, it was not an option in terms of going on toll roads, but the other part of it was to drive a really out-of-the-way route, and that would not have been productive for me. So it was easier to pay the $1 and something each day.
Now, the red light cameras, they're still kind of new. And, of course, Newport News has 3. I can pretty much name them. And, of course, Chesapeake's got some. Virginia Beach has several of them. And pretty much for the person out there driving, if they don't get to the light before it turns yellow, there's a chance, and they got cameras to prove it, that you will get a ticket. And if it was at one point $50. Does Hampton currently have any red light cameras?
We currently do not have red light cameras. It has been proposed by our police chief. And actually, Greg, there are some intersections that people just routinely run through. They just don't seem to care. And I think that's the change. When you talk about changes between times when we were younger, perhaps, and now, I think there are a lot of people who just do not really care about safety. They don't care about, yielding the right of way or just being I'm trying to think, being respectful drivers. I think there's a sense of ownership that everything's about me. And so I've seen people, I'll approach a yellow light and stop. I've had cars, and I count them, that just fly past me going through the red light. And that's dangerous. So some people view red light cameras as money makers for cities. I don't. I think actually they are things that are designed to make people slow down, to stop, and obey traffic signals.
The closest one to Hampton is the corner of Jefferson and Mercury, right there, by not too far from the James River Bridge. That's one of Newport News, though. That's going toward Hampton when you get past the Newmarket as well.
Okay. Actually, I was not aware of that one. The one I'm more aware of is the one at Oyster Point in Jefferson, which I think is considered to be one of the highest accident rates in the state or something like that.
Yeah, such a big gap there as well. All right, we're going to get to the lighter side of sports here. We're going to talk a little fishing. We're going to talk about Donnie's background in sports as well, and radio too. We're going to talk a little fishing with Jennifer Duff. This is Sports Scene live right here on 1650, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. We're live right here on Sports Scene. A special hello to Bing and Paul out there listening as well. It's 1240. We'll be back after these messages.
Nor'easter season is here, So don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
If you're in the mood for a taste treat that's sweet and rich, here's a value lunch special right up your alley. A $15 gift certificate for the Royal Chocolate Company in the Virginia Beach Town Center, half off for $7.50. Indulge yourself with gourmet chocolates, chocolate-covered strawberries, truffles, so much more. Call 488-1010 and get your $15 gift certificate for Royal Chocolates, half price, just $7.50. It's on the value line. Call 488-1010. Your taste buds will thank you.
Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Excuse me, Dougie Fresh. Yes! Have you ever seen a show with fellas on the
Live right here on Sports Scene. It's a pleasure and honor to talk to the mayor of Hampton, Donnie Tuck. We're taking a short break, and don't forget, Buffalo Wild Wings in Donnie City, Hampton, has fantasy draft parties. Be part of it. Get ready for an exciting NFL 2016 season. 8 or more in your group. Draft kit, NFL swag, and coupons, and much more. Contact Scott and the management right there at the Peninsula Town Center. Don't hesitate. This is the place for fantasy football. B-Dubs in Hampton. First regular season game coming up in September. Wings Beer Sports at Buffalo Wild Wings in Hampton. Great place. Give them a call at 826-4809 and go by there and see them at 4201 Kilgore Avenue in Hampton at the Peninsula Town Center. Go by and see Scott at Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's talk a little fishing now with Jennifer Duff, a regular right here from the Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing good, Greg. How are you?
Very good. Nice to hear your voice as well. Let's talk about right to it, Jennifer. I know it's not an easy spring. The summer's been really hot. And one thing I've noticed back in the spring, the water was very cold when we talked to your dad and you as well. Now the summer has been extremely hot. How has that been for Lynn Haven Fishing Pier specifically?
Well, once the water warmed up, things were great. We had lots of crabs. We've had the best crabbing season this year than we've had in a lot of years. And, fishing was good. And then, of course, the heat wave hit. Water temperatures have been above 80 degrees. So, of course, that makes fishing kind of die down to just the wee hours of the morning because it takes that long overnight for the water to cool off enough for the fish to come in. And then, of course, it heats back up real quick, as soon as the sun comes up. So you get a small window in there in the mornings, but fishing's been really good. But crabbing's been good all day long.
Yeah, great for locals and tourists both. And let's talk about Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. You're right there on Shore Drive. Talk about the social media as well.
We are on Facebook and Twitter. Very, very active on Facebook. We pretty much started the Facebook page, I'd say about 5 years ago. And it's actually gotten pretty big. We've got a lot of followers. A lot of people check things out there. The Fishing Report is posted there. We try to post it daily. Unfortunately, we do have a few employees that are older, and they're not very good with media right now. So there's only a couple of us that do post on there on a regular basis. But, you can ask questions there, get answers. a lot of times the regular customers will answer your questions before we can even manage to get to you.
We also have the mayor of Hampton in studio with us, Donnie Tuck. And Donnie, the summer activities are a big part for everybody on both the peninsula and the south side. Of course, you know how important that is to Virginia Beach for the overall tourism as well.
Well, Hampton prides itself on the access to the water, and we've got some great waterfront areas, as well as I know that people enjoy the fishing and crabbing in particular. So.
Absolutely. Let's talk about you're open 24 hours, and of course, is it still the logic there, Jennifer? Early in the morning, late at night when the fish are biting.
Pretty much the window of fishing right now, because the water temperatures are so high. The other day when I looked, the water temperature at Cape Henry was about 86 degrees, which is really, really warm for fish. The window of opportunity has been between like 3 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Wow.
And actually the spot has started coming in, which has made lots of people happy.
3 a.m. to 9 a.m. I guess they like their eggs and bacon to go along with the bloodworms. And is that still the hot bait, the bloodworms and the minnows?
Bloodworms are definitely going to be your best bet. Your second best would probably be artificial bloodworms. Mm-hmm. And after that would be squid and then shrimp.
Let's talk about your admission prices.
Adults, anybody age 12 and older is $10. Age 6 through 11 is $6, and age 5 and under is free.
Very, very nice. Of course, open 24 hours, and like you said, there's a beautiful view there, right there. I think it's, to me, Donnie and Jennifer both, the most beautiful view of all of Hampton Roads is right off Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. You can see Virginia Beach. You can see the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. On a perfect sunset, Jennifer, really, it's ideal for everyone.
It's just a great location, and we have a lot of people that they come out. They don't care if they actually catch anything or not. They just want to sit out there and kind of enjoy the atmosphere and soak up the bay.
Right, the regulars come out there too. All right, leave us with some information about your phone number, your address, and of course, what people can look forward to the rest of August and September.
Oh, we are located at 2350 Starfish Road in Virginia Beach, which is a quarter mile east of the Lesnar Bridge. We are open 24 hours a day, and we'll be open until 24 hours a day until we close in the fall, which is usually sometime around the end of October. You can expect more crabs, until the weather turns, and then the crabbing will, of course, die down. But we don't expect this year the weather to turn probably, I would say, at least the end of September. As hot as it's been, I'm guessing we're going to end up with a little bit of an Indian summer. Of course, the fishing will also pick up then as well. Fall fishing is some of the best fishing around. Spot get bigger, you get big croaker, big roundhead. People start catching drum. So, fall is definitely the time to be there. And come on down and see us on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We have Buddy Day from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. You buy one adult admission, you get one admission free. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, that's the time to come check it out, if you're new and you just want to see what's going on.
On a lighter note, would be nice to see an Olympics fishing. I would love it. Olympics fishing.
Olympic fishing would be interesting.
It would be.
I would imagine, though, they probably would stick to deep sea fishing or freshwater fishing, like bass fishing.
Right.
A lot of the tournaments that I've seen are, one or the other, and it's always large game fish.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jennifer Duff, all the best to you and your family. Continued success in Virginia Beach at Lynn Haven Fishing Pier.
Thank you, Greg.
My pleasure. Okay, right there, a great thing to do, Donnie, as well. And as well, one of our great sponsors here, Mattress Aerofoam Water Savvy Rest, all organic, latex, chemical free. They ship nationwide. Give them a call at 706-2694 in the Denby section of Newport News. They take your sleep seriously. Of course, sleep is very important. 14501 Warwick Boulevard. And of course, you can see their link on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. That's Mattress Aerofoam Water. Go by and see John and the friendly staff. That is important, too, that somebody told me, the late Herbie Morwitz and my dad, Jim Bicouvaris as well, take care of your regularities. Eat well, get your fluids in, get your rest, because a good attitude at work or at school to start the school year off means everything, and that's important too, that the kids have something to eat before they go to school, not only during school as well.
That is correct. But Greg, I want to move back to one of the things you said
Sure.
that challenged my civic pride. We've got great vistas in Hampton, too. I think if you go to Grandview Nature Preserve, there's an excellent view of the back part of the bay, as well as what you can see off of Fort Monroe and some other places. So be careful there.
Donnie,
I'm your guest.
Beautiful, Donnie.
I'm still your guest, Greg.
Of course you're the guest. I've known you since I've been a kid, so of course you're always
time
a
out.
guest.
This kid stuff. Come on now.
You were an old man back then. Speaking of which, you've had a background in sports with the Redskins. How was it, and how much interaction did you have with Jack Kent Cooke when he owned the Redskins, and your radio background as well in North Carolina? Well,
it depends. Let's go with the Redskins. I think probably the most interesting interview I've ever had, Greg, was the one I had with Jack Kent Cooke. It was my second interview with the Redskins, and we went up to his mansion in Middleburg, and he was wearing a white terry cloth bathrobe.
Wow.
And we're sitting in a den area, and he and I were talking.
That's not a good visual.
It was still great. And the funny thing about it, too, was this was the first time I'd ever seen a gas log fireplace. Had no idea what it was. So when he left the room to take a telephone call, I told his son, I said, for a while I felt like Moses and the burning bush. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I was watching the fire and the logs were not consumed. He said, well, Donnie, that's a gas fireplace. But anyway, that's probably one of the funnier stories. I think other than that, he and I didn't have that many interactions, but the ones we did have were positive interactions. Going back to the days in radio, I started out pretty much like you. I started out in the 11th grade just by chance. I used to do statistics for our high school football game and high school football team, and then at halftime, the local radio station would ask me to give the stats, actually halftime and end of the game. And so they decided they wanted to have a stringer out there, so that's how I got started in radio and did it for that station through my senior year and first 2 years of college, and then was fortunate enough to get into TV for about 2 years after I graduated. So it's been a great career related to sports. Worked at Howard University and just some positive experiences.
Absolutely. And you were part of the Redskins, too, when Doug Williams, I believe, won the Super Bowl when they beat Denver.
I have a Super Bowl ring at home.
That's unbelievable, too. Doug Williams is a great ambassador. Of course, he'll tell you he also played for Tampa Bay as well, because that's where he got started. Talking to Donnie Tuck right here, the mayor of Hampton, live on the radio right here on 1650 at 1253. Also, tunein.com. And, of course, again, special thanks to Tokyo Grill and Buffet in Hampton at 49 West Mercury Boulevard. They've got great lunch and dinner, Chinese, Japanese, hibachi, sushi, and American food. Go by and see Bing, Paul, and the great staff at Tokyo Grill and Buffet as well. And summertime is coming down to an end, of course, back to school. And, of course, that's always an exciting time for kids and families to enjoy the school system.
It is. And I think we're very excited about what this school year portends for our students. Number of opportunities I'll have to go out and speak to kids and different gatherings to try and motivate kids and families. So I'm looking forward to it. I made it to probably most of our schools last year. There may have been 4 or 5 I didn't go to, so this year I'm hoping to do that. We've got a mayor's book club that has council members as well as other members from the community go out and read to kindergartners and first graders up to maybe even the 3rd grade. So excited about that as well.
The Fort Monroe, that the people doing private stuff at Fort Monroe. I'm not a big fan of that as far as private beaches. I think everything should be free in the city of Hampton. Your thoughts about that? Also, the bridge thing was a little controversial as well there.
Well, let's go back to Fort Monroe and the fact that one of the things they're charged with is trying to make it self-sufficient. And so they've got a lot of assets there, and what they've done is really privatize the beach club there. I was there last weekend for the National Volleyball Championship, and it's a great crowd there. But then there are other parts of the beach that are open to the public, and there's no charge for there. It's just the club that has private membership.
Right. Talking to Donnie Tuck here, the final few moments right here. This is Sports Scene right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com. And that's always controversial, naming a school after somebody individually or a bridge. Not just a bridge. Schools, to me, are the biggest controversial things. Who you're going to name, you're not going to, just like an elected official, you're not going to please everybody.
I think I know the point you're making about the schools. There's an effort in the state, nationally, and I think even certainly locally in Hampton to rename some of the schools that were named after gentlemen who were associated with the Civil War, the Confederacy in particular. And I think one of the things you have to do, Greg, is recognize that history is history. sometimes you can go back and at least try and correct certain aspects of history that may have gotten it wrong. But to go back and try and change things, to rewrite it, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, everyone has his or her own history. Every group has a history. And to try and suggest that history didn't exist, or to say, well, your history is offensive to me, I don't think that's how a civil society goes about making progress. And so I think those things are better left in the past, and we just kind of move forward.
More in Hampton, go to their nice websites, Twitter, Facebook. Donnie, when are the city council meetings?
City council meetings, we have one a month during June, July, August. Starting in September, we'll go back to 2 a month, which are the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday of the month.
You get to pick that day, or that's been the tradition? With Newport News, it's Tuesday.
Yes, it's been a tradition, and I think most city councils have a day when they do it. Norfolk has 4 on Tuesdays.
When you wake up in the morning, you walk out the door, you say, wow, I'm the mayor of Hampton. Has that hit you yet? Because it's only been happening since July 1st.
It's still interesting, Greg, for people to say, Mr. Mayor, hi, Mayor Tuck. But it's a great feeling to wake up in the morning and realize I'm going to go out with the desire and I guess the willingness to try and do positive things for people. I think that's what really motivates me. And I think it's great to wake up each morning and have a job and a responsibility that you really enjoy.
Donnie, it's been a pure pleasure. Hold on one second. Let's get to What Tees Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
Where we have a little fun. This is me talking, of course. Donnie can chime in if he wants to. Getting food at a drive-thru, Joe Daniel, and then being blocked by the car in front of you who won't move up to get out of anybody's way. That's really awkward as well when you try to do that.
Yeah, I got to swing the microphone in front of me real quick.
When you're trying to go to the drive-thru, and then somebody's blocking because they're waiting for a previous order.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Parents getting involved in pro-sons contracts. They're adults now. Please, parents, stay away from your adult's son social media page on their behalf. There's one kid who played for Ohio State that's trying to play in the NFL team, and his mother chimes in, let the adult be the adult. Donnie, you know that firsthand as well. You're in a waiting room with multiple places to sit. I mean multiple. At a doctor's office. And somebody makes a point to sit right next to you. That can be awkward when you're waiting for the doctors. Certain areas where you can't fish. Fishing should be free to everybody. And the citations, if you can eat shrimp and scallops, why can't you eat any size spot, croaker, bluefish, or flounder? People are out for a few weeks and they don't tell anybody. When you're out on vacation, let people know. It saves a lot of time. Donnie Tuck, thank you so much, my friend, for being on Sports Scene. I've known you since the late 80s. Continued success to you and Robbie and your family and your daughter and your time, your talent, and treasure for the city of Hampton in 2017 and beyond.
Thanks, Greg.
We've learned a lot. This will be archived on gjbtv.com by hitting the YouTube link. And you can hear this show on YouTube, Twitter, as well as on Facebook. I want to thank Joe Daniel as well and all the great people here on 1650. Again, go to gjbtv.com. Shop right now on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Click any link, and it'll take you to the website of your choice. Very simple, on your phone or your computer. For Joe Daniel, happy Wednesday. Thank you to Donnie Tuck, as well as Jennifer Duff. I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth.